short story of the farmer and the pixie. Farmer Buggins lived on a lonely farm, and there were a great many pixies and other fairies all around. One morning in threshing time, Farmer Buggins went out to the barn before anyone else, and what was his surprise to find that a great heap of grain had been threshed out in the night. He wondered who had done it. When his laborers came to work, he questioned him, but none of them knew anything about it. The next night, the same thing happened. No one went near the barn, but in the morning there was a heap of clean grain on the floor. The third night, the farmer made up his mind to find out who it was that was helping him, so he did himself behind some hay and lay there watching. The moon shone in and lighted on the floor, but for a long time the farmer heard and saw nothing. Then suddenly he heard a sound of threshing, and there was a pixie beating out the grain with a flail. The little man was not a foot high. He was as brown as a nut, and had a scarce a cloth upon him. He worked so hard that the sweat poured down his forehead, and now and then he stopped to wipe it away. Then he would cry out proudly, "How I sweat! How I sweat!" The farmer was filled with admiration, and the third time the little man cried, "How I sweat!" the farmer could hold his tongue no longer, but answered him, "That you do." No sooner he had spoken, however, than the pixie was gone. The farmer waited for a while, but the little man did not return. At last Farmer Buggins went back to the house and told his good wife all that had happened. "You stupid," she cried, when he had made an end of the story. "You should never have spoken to him. The small folk cannot be bears big and do." Well, the mischief was done, and now the only thing to do was to think of some way to coax the pixie back against the wall. Early the next morning, the good wife woke her husband. "Husband," she said, "did you say the little man had a scarce stitch of cloths upon him?" "That's what I said," answered the farmer. "Then listen. Today I will make a little suit of clothes for him, and you shall take it out and lay it in the barn where he will be likely to see it if he comes back. Maybe then he'll be so pleased he'll get over his anger and begin to work for you again." Well, that seemed a good plan to the farmer, so his wife set to work, and by evening she had made a complete set of little clothes, just the size for a pixie. The farmer took it out to the barn and spread it out in the moonlight and hid himself where he could watch and see what would happen. For a long time all was still, and Farmer Buggins was beginning to feel sleepy, when suddenly he saw that the pixie was there. The little man had a flail in his hands and was going toward a heap of grain. Then he saw the little suit lying there in the moonlight. At first he stood quite still, and then he laid down the flail and took up the clothes. He looked at them all over, and then he put them on. When he was dressed, he began to hop and about and sing, "How fine I am, how fine I his working man. So singing, he danced across the floor and out of the barn and down the hill. The farmer was enraged. His wife had taken all the trouble to make the clothes, and the little man had fakened them and gone off with doing a stroke of work to pay for them. But this should not be the end of the matter. At the foot of the hill, the farm road crossed the stream, and there was a bridge. The farmer went down to the bridge and hid himself beside it, for he thought that if the pixie were really leaving the farm, this was the way he would go. Sure enough, Buckins had not been hidden there long when he heard the sound of voices, and along came a whole troop of pixies. They all looked exactly like the little man the farmer had seen in the barn, but none of them were dressed. Last of all came Pixie in a little suit of clothes, so the farmer knew he must be the one who threshed out the grain. Just as this Pixie reached the bridge, Farmer Buckins stepped out in front of him. "Not so fast, my fine little fellow," he said. "There's some work owing me in payment for that suit you're wearing." The farmer had scarcely got the words out of his mouth when he heard a great splash in the stream behind him, and a voice that sounded like his wife's crying, "Husband, husband, come quick and help me, or I'll drown." The farmer turned about, and immediately there was a burst of elfin laughter. The stream lay silent and smooth in the moonlight. No one was there, and when the farmer turned back to the bridge, every pixie was gone. Then the farmer knew that he had been tricked, and he had to go home without either the pixie or the suit of clothes. His wife was there too. She had never been out of the house at all, and the fine scolding she gave him for letting himself be tricked away by that little man. But the pixie never came back to help him with his grain, or to thank him for the suit of clothes either. Thank you for listening. If you like this, please check my channel for more stories and like and subscribe.